Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Crypto dip. So hopefully we can give you some insight on what we're going to do today. Potentially what you should buy, what you should hold off on. So definitely opportunities.
When we get to 20, we can start.
Yeah.
That's usually a good number. Now the thing.
Okay. All right, let's get to 20. Yep, there we go. There's 20. So
okay, great. So I got a little lag. Okay, let me pop that. Well, I guess I don't need to pop out the chat. Okay, guys. So we good? We're live. Everybody hear me?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Good morning. Whoa, sorry, we're a little bit behind schedule Monday, so I can often there's a bit of a scramble, and of course now with this little sell-off here, right, bulls are looking at seeing an opportunity. Well, let's not FOMO into anything right now. I mean, it's pretty good sell-off. We'll see how we line up technically. There's potential here for a lot of good things to be lining up here. So this is kind of the retracement that you wait for, and then when it comes, it can be difficult to pull the trigger. So there's no need to try and pick the turn. You'll hear me say that all the time. So before we get in here, this is our first chart up from a member. Just a reminder, just kind of what our purpose is here. So this is just a regular thing we've done. Well, we've been doing this for years within the membership, and we're just taking it live now is the only thing that we've changed. So members are posting their charts, and many members here are on listening, are posting up their charts of their TA. Gives us a chance to review what they're doing. But as I will just remind you, it's a great opportunity for not only other members, myself, my team, anyone here watching to identify some potentially interesting setups here, because that's really what I ask them for. Show me what's on your watch list. What do you like right now? And then we can kind of evaluate these and see if technically the timing is right for potentially an entry here. So you heard me say as well, a lot of trades that I found here have come from these setups. And the whole purpose here is that we've got hundreds of people now looking through that same TA lens where the setups are. So there can be some interesting things here that will be identified. So let's just start here, this big fat arrow. So this is PKI Savenda, I think it is. Did I get this right? Oh shit, I got so many here. PKS Savenda, who's been with us for some time now, very, very solid TA skills, as I think will be reflected here. So he's very excited about the setup here in Zilliqa. So we zoom in here a little bit. So I think he sent me a 4-hour here. So nice, right? Not a great 2, or it's just so much of crypto. We deal with that. Oh, this is, I see, you can see it. Okay, so here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to do a diag into the 1. Looks like a nice leading 5 longer than 3, 3 longer than 1. So we get a nice 1, 2, 3, 4. We overlap here. So diag. Because this, well, let's see. Hang on a second. You might have a slight error here. Well, let's see. PK, that's not like you to make that error. So I'm thinking something's off here. Line chart on. Oh, okay. I see what he's doing. Okay, I didn't read his note. So what he's doing here. So if you look at it, if we're using Wix, we don't have a diag here. I thought that would be uncharacteristic of him. So this is kind of a judgment call. So you have to kind of you get the one thing you have to be careful of when you say, oh, I don't like it in candles. Let's have a look at it in line. Is that you can be talking yourself into the trade. Now, it's a fine line. I think it's valid to look at it this way. Certainly considering the volatility that we get in crypto. Now, so if the setup over here is solid, and you can see the idea here, he looks like he's trading into the C. Well, so the waterfall down rarely is that the low, right? I mean, it's not that it never happens, but typically this is just a panic sell. Whatever it's typically news driven. Then the stops get hit. Then the latecomers pile on, and as this is actually a great example. So as latecomers start piling on, they're like, oh shit, this thing's really going down. Oh, we could sell it here. We could sell it, right? And that's what gets thrown right in their face. It's very, very typical. So, and thus why you often will get 3, or here it looks like a little more complexity in the B wave here is all the this is retail, right? This is what retail does. Oh, it's falling, so I can sell it. Now, what is a pro doing? It's falling. Maybe there's an opportunity to be a buyer. Hang on, I got to turn those ninja things off. Okay, sorry. All right, so the assumption being, okay, well, we're not likely, that's all you get is probabilities. Here, likely we're not done. Now, into the double bottom, well, if we put his analysis back on, it seems to fit rather nicely. So we're looking for a 3 here. So any sort of a push up here, and you know that's not enough to say, okay, what, rages on. But you can see the defense. So it's, again, a lot of times what I'm pointing out here is, obviously we have an Elliott count here, but you can just kind of look at this and say, well, if it were going to hold, where would you anticipate that it might hold? Well, just looking at it, right? You just pull it over, right? It's not terribly complicated. Okay, well, that seems like a reasonable spot to get a test. So here's the first test. Now, is that the second test, right? Is it safe? Is it safe to be a buyer? My view is always you don't need to pick the turn, right? And often it's that impatience. I was just having this conversation with another member this morning. It's the impatience, like, I've identified the TA here. The setup is perfect, so I'm gonna try and pick the turn. I completely understand that because I struggled with that for years because I wanted to pick the turn. My suggestion always is there's no reason to do that, because if we're going to turn here, this is a bit of a trend change. I wouldn't call it, we're on an 8-hour here, but this is a big trend change. Well, this has got to kind of work itself out here. So what I'm looking for is often the retest, right? So then I can define the low. Now you can still do it here. Right? I mean, you could long this right now. My guess is PK may very well, based on the way he's got it set up here. Now you can long it here. So if we go down to a smaller time frame, there we go. Okay, so now we're looking a little bit better. Okay, so there's signs of the reaction. That's all we get to identify. Do I get a reaction here at what would be what would you anticipate, right? Again, just price action. Where would we anticipate that we might get that reaction? Now, is that enough? Well, for me, if I'm taking that trade, I won't move my stop until I get it based on my stop where I am here. If I get a 1-to-1, something like that. So if I get up here, this far enough ahead, well, then I'll if I don't move it to break even, I'll reduce the risk, on the assumption that, oh, hey, we got the reaction, so it's likely to get tested, because usually that's not enough for people to go, oh, game on, let's buy it. You want to see a little bit of okay, there's the reaction. Now, likely those are going to get tested. Now, if it holds, I can be very definitive about my risk, and I look at my upside and say, well, hey, if it's going to hold here, I'm looking for 5 to come into that C. Okay, so maybe I catch the 1, 2 into the 3. It's trying to catch the turn down here that will often get you into trouble. And then if it breaks, then you're kind of into, oh, okay, well, I'm just kind of rationalizing golden zone likely to hold. I mean, so here he's giving it plenty of room. So clearly he's done the TA as well as he's looked at the fundamentals on this and likes it and is willing to give it that much room. So if you're doing that, then the first thought would be, okay, well, let's not go, all in on the first entry, because you can't eliminate the possibility that we get a more traditional, right? We get something like this, this could, well, let me get this out of here. Perhaps we're not done. So you could look at this and say, well, there's probably a pretty good case here to say, well, if I'm going to get that done here, so am I done with that? Pardon me. I'm kind of not paying attention to what he's doing here. So you're trying to get it done with that. So if this is A, B, it's far enough. Okay, so maybe we've got to flatten the B so we can get a 3 into that. I mean, you could kind of look at this and say, well, you can't eliminate the possibility that we've got one more down here. But, I mean, if you're looking for something here, just right in there as it is, right? So even if you get to the structure up here, well, now you got 5-to-1 off of that. But still, I see there's a 4, then I'd go to the 1 hour. say, all right, well, do we have it here? I'm just going to get rid of that. Do I have it? Is that enough? Well, okay. So again, it's kind of same thing. Well, where, if that's going to run into some resistance, where is it likely to run into it? Right? Just prior pivots. I mean, you'd want to pay attention to all these, right? This is not rocket science, right? Okay. Well, we're likely, right? There's be some defense here. So if it retraces, all right, now let's put the whole thing together. All right, if it's coming down here, okay. So this, if we come up into something like this, well, okay, how do I confirm? Well, the anticipation would be you're going to get some algo reaction here, right? Doesn't mean that it's inevitable that it does that, but you're likely to get a reaction there. So if I'm looking at this, I might be a little more patient here because we don't know how long this little sell-off from today, the news out of China, or, it's not directly related to crypto, but it's enough to spook the market. So risk off is, well, clearly we're in risk off today. Now, is it a buying opportunity in the markets? Well, we shall see. We'll know certainly within a couple of days. But that is I've been stopped out 3 times this morning over in the futures market. Pisses me off. But what I don't do is move the stop. So you just have to be at peace with getting stopped out, right? It's just part of trading. It's just the reality of it. So when catch yourself, if you feel yourself going, I'm going to give that a little more room, just pause and completely reflect on that. Is that really the right trading decision to make? Because we make this decision impulsively. Oh, fuck, man, I don't want to get stopped out. Oh, I know that's going higher. Oh, I see the count there. I can see how that could be reworked a little bit. I got it. Right. And then, okay, probably goes to the 707, right? I know I'm going to find some support down here. So, okay, probably go to the 786. Oh, there's some structure down here. Now look what you've done to your risk reward, right? And you rationalize it in your mind the whole way down. And all you had to do was take the small loser here. Right. Small losers, part of trading. It's just reality of trading. You get in the ring, you're going to get hit. Big loser, that's self-inflicted. Right? You got to catch yourself, right? As soon as you're thinking it, should be like, whoa. Do I really want to do that? All right. So my guess is PK's in here, but if I'm in just on a small little appetizer size. All right. I'm not ready for the entree here. I want to get into the third. That's where I want to eat my meal right here. Right. This is just a little, wetting your palate. Okay. Oh, I got a good reaction. Oh, I went right into structure. Oh, there's the retrace I was anticipating. Okay. Well, now, of course, as it's going up, I got to clear that. If I clear that, now, so if I sit right here and I don't clear that and I start heading down, well, right, we were kind of thinking, right, oh, it looks corrective, right? So 5s and 3s. Well, do I have a clean 5 here? Well, oh shit, here what are we doing? We're doing A, B, C. So do I have a clean 5? Well, not really, right? Could I see a path here for this to go lower? Yeah, I could. So if you're going to take it, I'd be prepared for that alternate. If not, right? Okay, I can live with that, right? Let's do the math. All right, what's the impact, right? Is that going to ruin my day if I get stopped out? It's just questions you got to ask yourself. I'm not really trying to tell you what to do here. It's just, I know that this is because I get emails and DMs and texts all the time from people saying, well, I didn't want to get stopped out. So I'm blown out. I'm starting over. Figured I'd come in and, sharpen up my TA here. And that's why people join us, right? They see this and they go, it kind of makes sense to me. It's the emotional, it's the impulsive. Oh, fuck. All right. Give it a little bit more. Oh, okay. Just a little bit more. That's catch it if you can. Certainly one for your radar here because of the nice setup here, but this remains, what are we doing here? Well, so you could look at it this way, as I will often do, and say, are we progressing the trend here? We're just in some sort of a big box, of a corrective box. Okay. If it starts to see, here's what I try and remind you. Okay, so if we were to do this, maybe we do that. Maybe the 2's in. Could be, right? Nothing says it can't be. So if this is the 2, if the 2 is in here, big question mark. If the 2 is in here, and it starts to go, well, you've got let's pull this out. You got a pretty big trend change happening here, right? I mean, since the pivot here, this is. Okay, we got 5 here. It's a little bit, you're a little dicey already on the 5 because you're kind of rationalizing it by using the closes. And I'm not saying, PK, that's not a good thought to look at it in closes, but recognize as he does here, right? So he's recognizing I'm doing this because it's cleaner. I can see the count with the closes. If this is going to be the low, and big question, right? If it's going to be the low, okay, well, if we're going into the 3, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to get into the big move here, because if it's going to do that 3, we're going up here, right? Monster move, right? So you see, this is kind of psychologically what happens to us. We go, oh my God, if I catch that, look at all the money I'm going to make, right? That's greed, right? And not that that's, just human nature, right? So, oh my God, look at all I can make. But what you really want to be focusing on, well, if that's going to go there, when we know it's not going to do it in a straight line, right? It's just, that's not how the markets move, right? So you're going to get something like that. So this in particular is your good opportunity. And here, if we go sideways and waffle for a while, you got plenty of opportunity. So you've got the trend change. Here, you're okay. Looks like maybe the start of it. All the volatility is almost always there as the market is wrestling with, oh shit, man, are we going to change trend here? Because so far, what have we done? Right, we've just done this. Right now, what's the anticipation? Right, that it would just do that. Now, if it can't do it, right, there's the big tell. So I'd rather take the small hit here and go, all right, maybe I was just a little bit early. And now if it comes down lower and we go to the golden zone, now I like it all the more. Well, now this just moves down. Now he's giving it a lot of room here because he's uber bullish. Me, there would have to be some strong affinity to Zilliqa for me to treat this as anything other than just another trade, just another setup. Now, if I get this, right, if I can get this into a golden, back to original, okay, well, now I've just stacked the deck a little bit more. Now, well, certainly you could have it here, right? It could be done. Maybe, right? There's all the structure. We can understand that. That could do it. Okay. Well, if it starts it, okay, you don't have to be in on the start of the one of the 3. There's time. Oh, okay. We got a little check here. Oh, now I got some geometry. Stack the deck. And I think he is, right? So I think he's acknowledging that this could just be an X going in and we come down for the Y. So PK, who's now a fairly seasoned trader, he's putting the possibilities in here. And essentially, he's writing notes to himself. Even though this is for the live stream, I'm going to add some notes. Those are really to himself. Okay, so I know that I compromised a little bit here by going with the line closes. So if I get into trouble, this is where I'm going to come back to, i.e. the big white arrow. Here, okay, three down could be done, but I mean, is that enough? Does it look like that's a clean? You kind of want to see that. I mean, I'd just like it all the better if I got that. And we're running into that structure. So what do you got down there? Well, you start to lose some of it. You see a little bit here. You'd have a little bit right in there. That's worth waiting for. So if I'm taking it here, I'm tight on that stop. I'll take the small loser and I'll reload here. But once again, right, if I'm going to try and pick the turn, I'm going to take a small piece there because I want to see the reaction. Then this is the one where I'd get a little heavier because I'm going for the 3. Right? Get me right there, right? So I've got my golden corner. I got an 80% probability. I've got a cleaner correction because now I can really, really see, oh, okay, I got my 5s. I got my 3. Right there it is. It's not that hard to kind of work through all of that. If it goes here, okay. Well, now one thing to note here, these are not great because if you go here, I mean, you could hit your 80% right there, right? So you almost want it to take a little bit longer so you can push this out where that angle gets steeper. Well, so here you might get this right into a double top, and that still could be the X, right? You could just do a 3 into an X, bring it down. So just, this kind of a collection of trading thoughts and just kind of things to pass on here outside of just, is that a trade worth taking right now? Well, sure. There's no reason not to take that. No reason not to. It's technical confluence there. You have this. I prefer the trade if it comes lower, right? So then you go, well, shit, I'm rooting for this thing to sell off more. Well, if you really like, oh, I'm going to wait for this, well, then, maybe you don't take that. Right? That's just individual choice. Okay, let me keep moving. That's good stuff from PK. Just put all of that in context. I mean, the setup is, it's much like Bitcoin. Right? You got this little block here. We're coming back to visit it. Well, there's potentially this is the screw you retail, right? That's right. So I say don't breakout traders are for suckers, right? So that it's going. right in their face. Right, that's why you don't look. Here, I'll end on this note. Right, so why would you do that? So if it's going to do that, we're going short. What you want to wait is for this to do that, right? And not once we're back in here, oh shit, okay, guess I was wrong. This is the classic. I mean, you see it across all markets, no different in crypto. This is just a liquidity grab. Oh, I'm going to grab all the short sellers here, retail piling on, latecomers to the trend. Oh, breakout here. We broke that low. Oh. Right. So here, if it was going to go right here, you'd have had it. Once you got here, now look what happens here. All of a sudden, I got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right. So do we have a trend change? How long do you wait before you go, fuck, man, apparently I'm wrong about this? Here. Which one do you finally go? Do you finally give in? Right. So now, or you just let your stops do it. Right. Stop gets hit, big push. Likely all of these people are out here with substantial losses. Why? Why would they be substantial losses? I know this thing's going to go down. I give that a little more room. Oh, well, okay. Let's. Oh, there's the golden. I'll give it a little more room. I mean, if there's any uncertainty, this here was certainly, testing, right? Here's the test. We check, right? More supply coming in. Nope. Careful, guys, right? Just, before you make a trading decision, really, it shouldn't be impulsive. It shouldn't be like, oh, I just spotted it. Oh shit, man, I got to jump on that. It should be, okay, if I'm wrong here, where am I wrong? Where am I right? All right, let me, keep moving here. I'll go for too long if I do that. Okay, I got next up Grant F here. So let me get that going on Zcash. All right, we're waiting for that. I think you guys know, or we got a lot of members on here, but for those of you that are not members, right, you can always join us for free, right? You can join our Discord. The links are, oh shit, they're all over the place. But they're on our website. Underneath this recording will be the link tree that'll have our website and all of our access points. Join our Discord for free, right? That gets you in, gets you to the white belt, gets you to all the pre-release on all the things that we put out in the public space. You get early release on that. And the white belt is, I often tell people, that's sort of your entry into the format, the educational style. Well, if you've listened to me for a while, you kind of know my style. But that's your entree into it. And if you like it and you get through the white belt, which don't assume you will, right? Most fail it the first time they take it because they don't study. They go, oh, fuck, I got this. This is easy. And then they fail it and they're bitching because I can't believe I didn't pass it. By the time you get into blue, or you decide you've completed white and you're ready to go blue, well, that's, now you're making a bigger commitment. So you're getting the opportunity to kind of work through that initial white belt and say, is this the direction I want to go? Or do I just want to do price action? It's a commitment, right? You wouldn't make it lightly. You wouldn't think, okay, I'm going to dive deep into Elliott Wave. I like the idea of the geometry. I like the idea of what the algos are putting, because it's not, the belt system is not an Elliott Wave course. Truly, it's not, right? That's a big part of it, but it's the complete trio of geometry. What are the algos doing? And then, as I always will tell you, last in that priority is Elliott Wave, right? But that's so often where we start, but just simply because it lets us organize and give it some context. So here, this is a good example. So would you need the Elliott Wave here to identify that harmonic? No, right? Obviously. Well, Grant, what'd you give me here? You usually tell me. Bat? Looks like a bat. I think if it only goes here. Let me do the copy. I usually don't have to even copy his because the chart is such a good setup. Okay. Give it a second here. I know it's always kind of weird because I look over on the other screen. I see you guys are about 15 seconds behind what I'm saying. So here's Zcash. Right now, I do have a piece of this, full disclosure. And the thing I love about Grant is that he's so consistent. Every chart has the exact same setup, always with three targets. Right, so he's there if he gets a big runner. Very good. Look at the risk, right? So he's got almost 4.76, 973, 1322. Now, one thing I can promise you is that this, without that plan in place, is very hard to sit on your mouse while it goes all the way that far. It's very hard, very hard. Every time it starts to any little seller, this is what makes trading so hard, right? You're instinctively, it starts to sell off. You're like, oh God, I got to grab those profits, especially if you're coming off a losing trade. That's where it's most likely to happen. You just took a loser. If you got up that far, oh shit, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it because I need to offset that loser. Well, then it does that. And you're going, God, right? Then you're in that kind of mental downslide of, whoa, I'm such a dumbass. Well, I knew I set that thing up. I had targets. Why did I jump out? It was on its way. Often they'll tell you, right, the money is made just sitting on your hands, right? When you've got something that goes now, and usually the best trades, it typically you're comfortable with it, even if you take a little heat. Eventually, it starts to go, and now you just want to let it play out rather than give into that temptation. I mean, you can see how you could talk yourself into it easily. Say, oh, okay, well, I've got some structure here. All right. So if I get up into that, well, okay, I'm going to take that, right, and call it a nice trade. Well, if it gets up here, as you reflect, right, so you want to always go back and review your trades. If you reflect on that, what would your lesson be? Right, what would your message to yourself be? I mean, sitting right here, we're at, where are we at here? We've got one algo that's finishing here. If we get this here at the 23.6 off of this 50, I think that's what he's calling here. And then I've got a 7.86 here. So we can look at this and say, well, do I have 5? Would it make sense, right? So I always say the value of Elliott Wave is we're putting things in context. Okay, I had 5 up. I'm with it doesn't matter how advanced your Elliott skills are. Well, I know it's about 5s and 3s. Do I have 5? Yeah, I got 5. Do I have 3? Yep, I got 3. Does it look like it's done here? Well, if it's A, B, C, what are we doing here? So if this is the A and this is the B, well, I'm looking for 3. I'm expecting everything we got to finish in a 5, right? So does that look like it's done? Right? You can see he's outlined it for you. Okay, so this trade is not quite ripe, right? It's a green banana. Okay, when I get here, now it's ripe. All right, so I've got that confluence of the TA here, the harmonic, the geometry oscillator, right? So that the assumption is that we're going 1, 2, this is the 3, thus the deeply overdone. Oh, I hate oversold. Extended RSI, or so you might be anticipating that it's just a little tension release is how I always think of it. Okay, tension, release, right? So that's what creates the 4, and then we come back down. Now you got it, right? So now you just waited for it. Okay, I got 5, I got 3, and I waited to finish with a 5. Why would you not take that trade? All right, if you're looking for something and you're tracking this and you get right here, look at again, right? Does absolutely nothing says it's not couldn't get stopped out, right? But look, it's the size of the stop relative to the reward. If you're just consistent with that over time, it won't be every time. It will be far fewer than you'd like, but you're going to catch one of those if you can keep your hands off your bloody mouse. You're going to catch one. That's really not that big of a hit in terms of what potentially is there. Shit, let's pull out. Where could this be going? It looks like a 1. Let me get this out of here. That's a mighty big. I'm just kind of looking at going left here, right? So this seems like has been support. Sure, we got through here. Now back to test from above. That's what you love, right? You want it's being tested. That's the point, right? Those that can move the markets, that's what they're doing here. We could even pull it down further and just say, okay, all of this area, here's the base, right? What's the potential? Well, shit, right? This thing can fly. That's May of this year, right? That's not that far off. This is on Coinbase, right? We got more history on other exchanges. But that's when. So here's the ramp from hitting Coinbase. Here's the correction of it. This is just this is what markets do. It doesn't matter if it's crypto. Right? The chart is a chart. It's the same human emotion, the same dynamics, always at play, the same TA, the same shenanigans around the pivots as stops get run. It's the same shit. Every chart, it's always the same. Until you accept that and you're not like, well, shit, crypto's totally different. Totally different. Oh, I'm not trading my dad's markets or my granddad's markets. Crypto, man, I'm I'm hip to where the action is. It's all the same. Always has been, always will be. If you're not accepting of that, you're making a mistake, right? It's always the same. That's why I can do this. Doesn't matter what is in front of me. Doesn't matter. Absolutely, I could not care less what's in front of me. I mean, unless I'm in it. But in terms of the TA, it's always the same, right? That if you learn nothing else from watching these, it's that we do it the same way every time. There's slight variations, right? So what's a variation? PKS Avenda saying, it doesn't quite work unless I go to line close. Okay, that's a variation, but essentially it's the same theme. Do I get 5 followed by 3? It's literally, do I get 5 followed by 3? Now it's a little funky, right? Now it's not always going to be drop dead like right out of a line drawing chart, but is this ultimately 3? I mean, it's funky, right? Shallow, but is that not your 3, right? So we go into a double bottom, right? Double bottoms are just that's the reality of trading. Happens all the time, right? So we're going to go for a triple. Well, some people tell you there's no such thing as a triple, but that sure looks like a triple to me. We're going to go again. So what are they doing down here? This is base building, right? So all of that upside is there, all of it, right? Unless Zcash isn't going to survive, which I think is unlikely. So what are we waiting for? We're just waiting for the right setup so that we can participate in the next ramp. Okay, big base, right? And this is very Wyckoffian, or big base, right? The longer we base down here, the bigger the upside potential. So you wait. Now you sit here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now here's the confluence point. Now if I get here, right, and it looks like he's going to try and take it. Me, I always wait for that little reaction, right? I've said it thousands of times, right? I wait for that little one. Knowing, right, I could miss it. Right? This thing can scream out of here, but eventually it's going to start. It's that eventually, right? It just always does. You never know why. Right? People today are like, oh, well, okay, yeah, Bitcoin's selling off, but that's because of what's going on in China. Well, of course, right? You don't know what's going to cause it, but something always does. Sooner or later, everything retraces. Everything always has, always will. This is a nice setup, right? So every chart he presents here, if you guys have been watching these for any period of time, every chart has the exact same profile. Every chart. Good work, Grant. So that's one. This absolutely watch list. You can wick off a few of these areas here. This is probably a good spot. If it comes down here, I want to know, we damn near got there. If we start to come a little bit lower, I don't want to forget about it, because I will. Right? So that's why I'm going to watch this as well. I've got a piece here. If we get this, that's where I am. Okay, good work as usual from Grant, right? It's the consistency. That's the superpower. People miss that. So I try and remind you. All right, I'm Mr. Jack 245. Another really, really just great progression since he joined us. Same thing. His TA is so good, I rarely even have to make the copy. But I'll do it just so I can move it around a little bit. Oh, it's taking a peek at the indexes. All right, so here we got. Now, one thing you'll notice here, right, they always come to me with the indicator. The first thing I do whenever I get a chart from someone is turn those off. I want to hide them. I want to do all the TA. And if I come over here, finally I go, all right, let's just have a quick check. Where's the RSI? What does this look like? As many people will start down here and go, oh, okay, well, where's the MACD? Does it look like it's time for a trade? Well, that's not what we would advise you. Why? Because they're lagging, right? They lag price, right? They add value, but it's least important. Okay, what do we got here? Live Peer. Holy shit, I've never even heard of this one. Live Peer. Oh, well, here's another example, right? So I've never heard of this asset. And I'm not blowing my own horn here. I'm trying not to. Right? I'm just, the point is, this is what was taught to me. This is what I've experienced over many years of doing this. So I do it that way because it's backed up by my experience in the markets, right? That if I do that this way, it's not me. I mean, I'm teaching what was taught to me and then adding in my own experience. So it's not, oh, look at me. It's me trying to show you, look, I was lucky. I had some good mentors. So, There's never been a live stream or a video where I don't show this, right? So there it is, right? There's your golden corner pocket, right? There's your 80%. Now, look at that. It literally ticks it in the reaction, right? Do you think that's random? Oh, probably just a coincidence. There was some news event that caused that. I promise you that is not random. Right? So how many of you caught that, right? I didn't. I never heard of live peer. I have no idea what it is. I don't need to know. Doesn't matter to me. What's the TA, right? What's the valuation? Okay, so I got a nice impulse into the 1. I got a 3. So 5 followed by 3 right into the golden zone. What do I get? Golden corner pocket, 80% already realized. Look at the upper parallel. See how it contains, the market gets contained within that? I say it all the time. I cannot make this shit up. Okay, so I've got in my impulse here. So if this is a 1-2, well, what's the wrong one? What do I need here? I need to confirm here. I need to get 5. Do I get it? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That looks like a 4. That's a little skinny, but relative to this 2, it works. So I get sharp sideways, little tiny little 5, but it completes my 3. Oh, we get here. Do we not make 100? Let me check that. We are, Mr. Jack, I'm assuming you gave this to me in log. Sometimes I'm in log, and when I get your copies, I'm not sure if it was me that was in log or you guys were in log. Well, here's the second most common location for a wave 3 top, right here. 127, 138. Okay. I've got 5 followed by 3 followed by 5 followed by 3, right? So there's a double bottom again, right? We know that's just common occurrence in markets, right? Support here is tested, right? It happens to be the internal chamber here. You see how these are just 2 channels with a split in the middle? So he's got his 50 on this, tags it to the tick. Looks like that's the 38 too. So he's looking for the low of the 4, right? Where's the most common? Again, I couldn't possibly make this up, guys. Where's the most common location for a wave 4 between the 23 and the 38? What do we do? Right? Double bottom at the 38. Okay, well, if this is the 4, what am I expecting after this? Well, I'd be looking for 5, but I know that if I'm going to get the 5, it's got to start with a 5. If this is going to, I have the potential here for literally a drop dead perfect impulse. Did you need me, Eric? It was log. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think when they put it in log, if I get it, come over, it does come in log. Hang on one second. I can turn my fan on. It's fucking hot. Heat is supposed to be over in Texas by now. All right, where was I? Okay, let me zoom in here. So I got my 3. I got a double bottom at the 38. Okay, so at this point, what are you anticipating? Well, what you want to see, oh shit, I went too much there. I want to see a 5 come out of that. Well, is this enough? That's a start on it, but remember, you're going to have, every 5 has to have a 1. So you might look at that and say, well, okay, I got the start of something. Now, it looks like this is technical. All right, so we come here. All right, we come right to the 50. Well, a little front run. It's very common. But I would look at that and say, is that done? Well, it could be. All right, it's a little, it's kind of dicey in there. All right, this is one where after the fact, you're kind of going, oh, well, shit, I guess I got a diagonal here. So, but we're looking for a series of 3s. So now this looks like this is more A, B, C. A, B, C, right? This one's no question about it. This is easier to spot in hindsight. If you're right here at the 50, okay. Was there a trade here? Okay. Well, I can see that, right? I got some structure here. Are they going to test that? If you took that trade, again, this is all the market ever does. Swing, retrace. Structure, prior pivots, right? This was clearly a resistance point. Now, what are they doing? They're testing it. Is it safe? Is it safe? That's what's happening in price action, right? It's not like oh, these are magic lines where when we touch these lines, the market does this. No, this is more supply going to drop into the market here? or not, because the last time that's what happened. More supply came in. Well, let's check this time. What happens? No. Oh, okay. Well, now I got that. So now at this point, you'd look here and you'd say, well, I don't have an impulse. So either it's an ABC and we're going down again, or I've got to start on a diagonal, which is the reason you get diagonals at the start of a move, and particularly in this case, per the degree, this is a trend change, is because there's kind of a fight here between bulls and bears. Bears are still determined to take this thing lower, and bulls are trying to fight that off, which is how you end up with all of these threes and why you get this kind of price action here. Oh, even this, right? This little failure swing here is a big tell because it doesn't make the geometry, right? You'd be anticipating this to get up here. It can't do it. Again, always easier in hindsight, after the fact, right? It's easy for me to do this commentary. If I was trading that, I don't know that I would, if I was trying to trade some of this, my guess is I'd have had a few stops here, because it's not, you don't quite know until it's done. Now, and this is also part of the reason why you hear me constantly say this, wait for the initial reaction, wait for that initial 5. Now we're on an 8-hour here. All right, so this is you waited. Well, shit. What'd you wait here from July to September, right? So this was a long wait while this was shaping out. But essentially, what are we doing? Right now, doesn't mean it couldn't break here and we go lower, right? So don't. I'm not implying that if we get a swing and a retracement, that it's always the pivot high that breaks, right? Just as reasonable that the pivot low could break. But if we're going to swing and retrace, and that's all the market ever does. So either it's going to break this low or it's going to break this high, one or the other. Well, can I put it into context where I'm comfortable risking money here? Okay, well, I've got 3. I've got essentially a triple bottom. Oh, well, pardon me. This is the double. I've got a double bottom into the 38. So it's been hit and then checked. Okay, I'm looking for 5. Even if you took some small losers in here because you didn't know what the hell this was, because if you're over here, you don't know what's coming. You're thinking, oh, shit, off we go. We're into the 3. 1, okay, weird 2, off we go. You don't get it. You don't get it. Now, can I put it in context? Okay. Battle, because bears, right, are trying to do this. Right, that's what they're trying to do. Nice setup here, Mr. Jack. Good, right? So, so I can plant the 1 here. All right, so it's either a 1 or an A. Right, process of elimination. Oh, I got a diag. Okay, I've got a candidate. Right, that's just that. I've got a contender here for a 1. Well, if that's my 1, what? Again, it's not that hard. Right, it's the same thing. Right, it's the same thing, just on a different scale. Swing, retrace. Oh, it looks like a 50. Now, we're going to break this low or this low or that high. Right? If you simplify the market down to that, it gets a lot easier to go, what the hell is going on? Where is the last retracement? What happened? Right? This looks like it's 50. Not, it'd be pretty damn close. Maybe a little front run. You're never going to know for sure. Tested. No, can't quite get there. That's a lot of wick rejection. Oh, shit. All right. Wicks are the market talking to you, right? Well, you get all those wicks up there. Tried, failed. Pay attention to that. Right? Every one of these little wicks is the market. There's a little bit of a story in there. Because bulls are trying to get that to go, right? They can't, damn it. Now it comes down. Okay, we're right in the pocket here, so I'm going to just pull that off. Oh, so if this likely is because we hit that 50, right? You've got an algo that's in play here. Here's that target, which is right at his, right where he drew that. We're going to come right into the geometry. So now all we're trying to do here is combine a few things. Okay, I got a 5 here that I can plant a 1 on. So from that pivot here, right now, right at a 50. Does that make sense? Well, I just kind of look, oh shit, that something happened here. Last time it got here, rejected. Right. Was the resistance. Now we're through it. Now we're eating into that wick, right? You see that wick is just we're eating into it. Now, if it breaks the 50, you come down here. Whoa, look at this nice setup. Because again, this is all we're trying to do here, right here. Boom. Right. On the anticipation that live peer, we have context. Right? That's the value of Elliott Wave, right? It's not that it's inevitable that it does that. That's never what we're saying. Never. Right? But is that not just the same thing, right? That this is the market's movement pattern. That's how it moves. So 5 followed by 3. What are we looking for here? Well, if we get to that algo target, now again, context, is that going to be the 3? Likely not, right? Likely not. So if I were to get there, and okay, because all I'm doing is tracking an algo. If it gets its target, likely to be a little reaction there. If I get that reaction, what am I likely doing here? Well, if I know the 3 is going to be way the hell up here, 1, 2, right? I mean, nothing says the 3 has to stop here. If I were to get that far, I'd be thinking, 1, 2, I could have a monster 3 on my hands if that's the 1, 2. Right now, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Right now, the question is, do I want to be a buyer down here? Is there enough potential upside here, risk reward? Does this warrant taking a bite at it here? I mean, nothing says it has to go to the golden zone. Absolutely nothing, right? Ideally, right? So here's where the time to check this is, God, it would have been ideal, if we were a little bit deeper. So I might do the same thing here. I know I'm risking, if I'm not taking that trade here, I'm risking the double double bottom here at the 50 relative to the swing to the retrace. Again, so why would you hesitate at taking the 50? Well, does it look like it's done there? Okay, so if this is the B, right, reasonable expectation that it is, we got to finish with a 5, right? Again, just that requirement alone, right there, that you're looking for that to finish with a 5 is going to filter out a lot of impulsive trades. Oh man, look at the reaction at the 50. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that. Well, what am I on? Jesus, I'm on an 8-hour. Let's go down to a 2. Let me get over here. Let me pull those off. Okay. That could be a little baby 2 of the thing getting started. Well, it's certainly not right in your face. Like maybe something like that's going in here. Doesn't look great. That wouldn't be good enough for me. This has got to be your 2 because this would have to be 2 of the 1 that got you down there. So 1, 2, 3. It's a little skinny. I'd want to see this. Yeah, I'd need to see a pretty good reaction back up here, and I'd be looking for something like that because you could call that done. You don't know, right? Because we don't have good shape. So even if you're just thinking of this, okay, 1, I got to go with the 2 there. That's the deepest retracement I get. Well, I got to get an internal impulse in that. That's not quite good enough for me. Now that's just me, right? I'm very picky, and by reason is because there's so many things to trade. Why are we not being picky? I'm not asking a rhetorical question. Literally, why force something? Where is this trade just gorgeous? Down here. Worth waiting for? Well, of course, you risk that it doesn't happen, but I don't really worry about missing a trade because you've heard me say this many times. If I get 5 out of here, I'm looking for that. Otherwise, if I come down here and this is just going to finish and I'm going to get a 1, 2, maybe the 3 still going in and I get down here, there's the trade you love. Now you could take, again, I might take a small bite there just off of the TA being so clean, but not full boat. I just did a little bite there. I might use the 707. Show me the reaction and show me that reaction is a 5. Because then this is the one where I add, right? Now I can get a little more aggressive, right? Knowing that even if I get down here, I'm gonna run right into that. There will be a reaction there, just as there'll be a reaction here. So often you'll see the 3, 4, 5 right into the golden zone. Now, right? So always an algo on the other side. There'll be an algo with that as a target. How would that play in this context? Would that make sense? Could that happen? Well, yeah, you can kind of, well, if we got a 5 here, that would eliminate that probability, right? Again, not an impossibility, but if this comes down here, right, and we got a 3 going up here, well, now you'd say, well, wait a minute, I didn't get a 5, I got a 3, so this could be WX, right? And then you'd be looking for, you got to be prepared for all of it. Well, shit here. Be looking for that. All right, now this algo gets its target. We're still off of this low. So I still, even though it's getting ugly, I still have this potential. Do I want to take this trade down here? Well, once you break the golden zone here, I'd be a little, this is where I would definitely be more picky. Show me the 5, right? Show me the 5 so I can play that 3 and use this as my stop. Okay, then I might take that. But when we're this deep, remember, hitting an algo target, that's not a buy signal. You're just looking for a little react. It could end up being the pivot, but that's not your buy signal. Hitting the 786. Okay, could that be a 1 with a deep 2? Well, sure, right? So the Elliott would be valid, but ideally you want to tuck in behind that algo. So just looking at this, you can see where the battle lines are going to be drawn, right here. That's the battle, right? That's the software battle. So if I can buy it down here off of the 2 into a golden zone, of course, what else would I have? And this is just adds a little sweetener to it. Well, you know what I'm going to do here, right? So if I get this followed by that, now I got this potential, right? Now I get the additional odds play, right? Have to emphasize this. As long as this pivot holds, if we hold the golden zone, we know we're going to have an algo participating there. I got 80% odds of getting there. Why would you not take that trade? Well, the only reason that I can ever think of, right, when we set something up like that is because there's something else you like more, or you don't have the available dry powder to take a trade into something like that. But that's a textbook. Like, again, live peer, I don't care what it is, right? That's a technically valid setup. Now, if I'm going to trade that and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm going to stick around for a while, I'm sure as hell going to want to know what live peer is all about. But just for a technical trade, again, why would you hesitate there? Oh, well, I want to see it confirm. Okay, let it confirm, right? And then take the 3, right? Stop under the pivot, right? Because again, right back where I was before, you're making the assumption, you are committing to the fact that your belief is based on the TA that the pivot is in. If they take the pivot out, take the stop. Don't rationalize and go, well, I give that a little more room. Well, let's give it to the 786. Right? Again, now you're back into self-inflicted wounds, right? There's never a need to do it, right? You're just doing it to yourself. Mr. Jack, always something good. All right, let's go with Woo Wonka. All right, putting up great content lately. What do we got, Woo Wonka? What are we looking at? Oh, comp. So what count? All right, so he's got 2 counts here, which right is very often the case where you're looking at this going, shit, man, that could be this, that could be that. Well, I'm going to have to make a copy here so I can play with these. It doesn't mean, well, but there's 2 ways to look at it. Okay, so if you're in doubt, the old saying, right? When in doubt, stay out, right? There's no reason to take a trade when you're in doubt. It's when, okay, I got it. I see right where it is. I know right where I want to pull the trigger. I know right where my stop is going to be. I know right where my target is, even though, right, we never have certainty in the market. So it's a fine line. But if you just like, oh God, I just don't see it, I'm not sure, could be that, could be this, then wait. There's no reason to rush into the market, right? That's the very common problem that people experience because they are impatient. Like, oh, all right, let's just go with it. Okay, this is a little bit of that's a little funky. Shit, man. I guess it doesn't really matter how you count this at this point in time. So you get a clean finish. So you really have to work backwards here. So there you can finish with this. I'd call it a double top, but we do get a higher high here. So here's the 5. Here's the 4. So working backwards. Do you see why he's going with the irregular? Because you could damn near do it. But if what are we on here? We're on a daily. Oh, you might be able to get a 1-2 out of this 3 and pick it up as a diag. You might be able to. I don't know. Woo Wonka probably went down there. But out here at the daily, right? This is the same issue with Bitcoin, right? If you put, you'd have to verify it because otherwise this just looks like a 3. Right, we can't start an impulse with a 3. So he's going a little funky here. Going with it, A looks like B into this double top here, because that does look like 5 here. So you'd have to do A, B, C into the B down for this. So he's getting there a little funky, right? Doing it that way. So expanding the B, it works, right? So at this point, I don't know that it matters that much, right? So here we've just got, sometimes I don't even look ahead. Okay. So what did we get? I swear to God, guys, I mean, it's the same thing. What do we do? Golden zone. Now, you might look at that and say, well, hey, I was kind of expecting that a little bit lower because I'm a price action trader. I don't pay attention to the golden zone. So I'm going to wait for it to come down and test that structure. Well, if you did that, right, I mean, so this is what I talk about. Okay. So number one, right. Notice not the 618, right? But that's what's happening there. The people that were told to put their stop just underneath the 618, right? Those are stops getting hit, right? Remember, a wick. When you see a wick, the market is talking to you, right? Rejection. That's a classic rejection. Here's the test. Be willing to bet you that's technical too, right? So here's that's 786. So you didn't quite get. I mean, that's a pretty good reaction. So swing. Let's check it. Let's check what's in there. Am I going to get a bunch of supply? Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? Yeah, I guess it was safe. So. Reasonable candidate here. As I will tell you, right? God, you got some jumbo letters here. Okay. Well, no matter how you count it, there's an impulse by a 3 that goes to a golden zone. I mean, that is essentially about as rudimentary a setup. Now, what he's noting here is that rather than coming out of this, which is just welcome to trading, right? We're not getting the big 3. We're getting kind of this sideways. So you have to be prepared for this. I can understand why he's reluctant here because this is not what you'd be looking for. Can I push that up? Okay. I'm lost in the count. All right. So if you're lost in the count, you wait until you're not lost. So this is great work, Woo Wonka, right? So follow the 3 into the golden zone, 1, 2. Oh, but this is a little bit troubling. So is it a diag, right? Have we triple topped into a diag? So what do we see here, right? Just a big box. So what's holding it down, right? It's a little bit thin here. Let me change it to mine so you can see it. We can use this one, right? So brighter number. So again, guys, I cannot make this up, right? I can't make this up. All right, we've gone from this golden zone. Let me brighten this one up so you see that one as well. All right, so we're going from this golden zone where we're getting, so who's trading in here? Who's controlling this? Right, that's not Billy Bob Crypto selling at the golden zone. That's software doing that. Who's buying down here? That's not Crypto Billy Bob. All right, this is all software driven. So we are just sitting in a nice big algo box. So when you're in that box, right, you really, you don't have any advantage here. You're just stuck, right? Until this breaks, it's going to break one side or the other, right? That's, again, all the market ever does. So we have a swing that's run into resistance. So here's your shit. That's damn near, it's certainly a triple top, right? So for all those people say triple tops don't exist, right? Think again. 1, 2, 3. Software is defending that. They're not letting it go, right? So they're just, the sell volume comes in there, right? This is just as precise an example as I can put in front of you. And I've probably shown this, I don't know, 5,000-6,000 times, where you're just stuck in between. So why do you need to force a trade in here? What's the hurry? So right now, this could turn into a W. I mean, this could be the W. Oh, yeah, that's plenty. That'll work, right? So you'd have to relabel this because if it's going to be an X, you'd have to go A, B. Oh, shit, I can't even see it in there. Just because of that, if already you're going, well, if that's the X, right, I would have expected that. I'm with you, Woo Wonka. I would just, because you can't really know where it is, let's go. Well, let's take a look at the 4. All right, so what are we doing here? This is the C. Oh man, you're getting wacky on this one. Okay, let me pull this off here. Okay, so could be the 1. Okay, WXY into the 2. Okay, that's good work, right? You got to know what you're doing to get that to work. I might put it here, Woo Wonka, right? Looks like you got a triangle into that X. Down for the Y. Okay. Oh, actually, I think maybe I see why you're doing it because you wanted the ABC. All right, well, we can work it here. All right, so A, B, C to give you the Y for the 2. I see what you're up to. Okay, so you got the 1, but now we've broken that low. So you're right back to what you thought was happening here. Hey, okay, WXY, I'm thinking this, right? You don't get it, right? So here, you see the reaction, right? You're always, right, unless there's news driving it, you see the little reaction at that golden zone? I'm assuming you guys can see that. Oh, fuck. I got the wrong one highlighted here. Oh, it's because I've got that block on it. All right, so this here, you see, here's his golden zone reaction, which, where's my, all right, so here's the reaction. Oh, got a little, so that would have been, there's a classic example. Oh, okay, do I want to take that? Okay, maybe I do want to take that and put the stop right under that pivot because I'm making the assumption that technical reaction is the low and we're going. And if I come down here, I'm going to get into the 3 for the 1 of the 3. Don't get it, right? So this, even though that's a 5, you're kind of stuck with that, right? So you might have to do it this way. So what you're looking at here, Wonka, is because we finish with the 5 up here, this has to be, you have to label this differently. So you have to get an A, B, C into this, because if we got a 5 and we've broken the low, we're completing something here. So the 1, 2, right? Obviously, which I know you know this, Wonka. So that comes out of play. So now you might be looking at a WX, right? Bringing that down. So when in doubt here, why would you be forcing a trade? Where are we here? Well, that's starting to look more like an ABC, but you don't know, right? Until this completes. Until it completes, is that 1, 2 or AB? You don't know. But your context here is keeping you, kind of at uncomfortable buying into the market here. So why would you be a buyer here? Well, okay, I've got a swing. I've had clear resistance here. I'm back at the 50 of that. Okay, is that enough, right? So what would you be saying? This would have to be, we'd have to do a WXY. So you'd have to be doing WXY. Okay, possible. Is that enough? Is that enough to take the trade? Well, considering you're just in this big box here, I would sure as hell, and we're on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, I'd want to see a little, right? Because you've had a few fake outs here, right? Here's a fake out. Here's a fake out. Here was a 5 that didn't play. So you got pretty stiff resistance up here. And if you want to be even more conservative, what I might suggest is wait for the retest, right? Because I can absolutely guarantee you that gets retested. Right, we got to get up here. Here's the 5. It's going to have to do this, right? If this is the pivot, it's going to have to do this. Perfect spot for the 4, right? That's what you'd kind of lay out. But why? Why force a trade in here? I don't see any reason to do it. Get that, and I might take this one. But right? Clearly, right? That's got to break, or we can't get out of here. I'd wait for that. I'd wait for the retest from above. Now, if you put that in context, am I going to miss the big monster move if that's what happens? Well, if we end up putting in a 2 down here, this would go shit. Oh shit! I guess we can leave it there. If this is 1 and we're just going to do this sideways 2 after the sharp, you're thinking truncation here. 1, 2. I think that's more 3, 4. I think that 5 is solid there. If we come back down here to test this again, then you might revisit this. Right now, I'd be waiting for one side to break. There's no need to force. I'd let one side break, clean up the count. Now, I don't know if there's anything over here on the other side here that's going to add any more value. It's just another way to count it. Well, here now you can see there's a little more evidence here. You can see, I don't know why you guys make it so where it's hard to see, right? So mine pop out of me. I don't want to miss them. So boom, boom, boom. So 1, what are you thinking here? So you're thinking expanded diag. All rules satisfied. Okay, so he's doing the diag down into this. So 1, 2, 1. It's overly complex. Okay, right. So, but what he's doing here is he's flexing a little bit of Elliott muscle here to recognize the triangle. Okay, now look what we're doing. We're putting a triangle in. We're truncating the 5th. We're in between two golden zones. We've got a secondary golden zone here midway through. We've just pinged off of this 50. There's not enough here to say, okay, I'm in. I mean, you kind of probably say, okay, I've got some structure here. I've tested it once. Now I've tested it, but truncations, I don't like to trade, right? If it's the only choice, when Now we had to wrestle with that in Bitcoin, where it just, and this is actually very similar to that larger daily pattern in Bitcoin, but right, that's not the reaction you were looking for. So now you got to say, oh, did I just overcomplicate the whole thing? Can you even get that to play? Boy, that is mighty, mighty, mighty close, right? That's kind of an ugly correction. It looks more corrective than impulsive. So right off the bat, I would not be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but doesn't mean it couldn't happen, right? It just doesn't look great to me. So as far as I'm concerned, this is just, I like it. I want to keep my eyes on it, but I don't see a trade here. Again, that's just me, right? My thought always is there's so many things to trade. Why would I want to take one where I'm not quite sure? I like the TA here, Wu Wonka, is excellent work. But I don't think there's a trade there yet. Even what do we got down below? Oh, he doesn't even have any indicators down below. I mean, certainly you can look at this and say, okay, well, what do I have here, right? I've hit it once, right? Now I'm going to use I would use the last one. Okay, so I'm in, right? Certainly I would start with the shift. I've got an algo target down here. Would that play with the context? Oh, we've already tagged the golden zone once. I'll put all this down here. If we were to come down here, this would be mighty deep, but it would still be a valid too, right? It would just be impulse, big correction, right? Swing, right? So now simplify it. What is it we're really doing? Same thing I try and tell you guys, this is all the market ever does. Swing, retrace, right? As long as we don't break this, your anticipation is, right, if we're going to stay in a bull market, right, then we're going to take out the high rather than the low. We're in a bear market, your anticipation would be to take out the low. So I'm just looking for where's the next long, right here? No, too soon. Some of that, right, could be coming into play, or it looks like it came into play here, right? We pegged the 50 prior structure, price action, right? Resistance, right? Becomes support. Now it breaks. Now we're going to come down, test it again. Good work, Wu Wonka, but I think that's par baked. Okay. Oh, we got fewer than I thought here. Okay, so boy, I'm running low on content here. Okay, so I got Peacock, Wu Wonka. I got only one from Wu. Anything I missed above? Guess not. Okay, well, we're running low. Okay, so next up, I've got D-Lan. D-Lan, I don't recognize your handle. I'm guessing you might be a new member. Let's see what you're up to here. If you're not a new member, forgive me. It's just, sometimes I don't recognize the handle. I think this may be the first time you've posted in here, so I'm glad to see that. Oh, he just hadn't posted often? Oh, well, if you're an OG, man, you're my people. Okay, so let's, what I get here? I got an image, not something I can work with. Oh, shit. Okay, so this is, let me see if I copy that. Does that get me there? Well, so I don't have anything to work with. Okay, so this
it's just an image.
Okay, so this is ICP to the dollar. Well, okay, working off of this completed impulse. Okay, but this is nice work. D-Lan. I want to say that must be Dylan, but D-Lan. So I got 5 up. I'm looking for 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sure looks like I completed a 5. Well, that's a little skinny, but as we are pushing lower here, it looks like we've got 5, 3 here in gold, or in that whatever that is, coral, that B, we're heading down for the C. So he's trying to line up the golden corner down here where you can see his entrance now. So that's tight. It's good work, D-Lan. So here's the swing. Oh, so that's, what does he got here? So this is our golden zone. So these colors are different. It screws me up. Okay, so swing, we hit golden zone here. We get the bounce into the B. So I got a nice little 3, although it looks like we're gonna have to truncate here, but since that's coming, so A, B, C into the B. And you can kind of look at this and say, well, oh shit, I wish I could draw here. All of this congestion here you just take it off to the left, right? So this was just a big area of consolidation. So if we're going to push lower because of the day, right, it's just risk off across risk assets, of which crypto is certainly part of. If we're just going to push lower here, and this, how's Bitcoin doing? It's holding. If we're going to push a little bit lower here, then the golden zone here seems like a logical spot to be looking. So you'd have the price pattern aligned. You'd have the potential geometry here in alignment. Wish I could push left, but if I just look left here, I can see this structure here. Even this is the advantage of this is like a part Donchian channel, part Bollinger. But so look at this structure here at this line, which is coming off of this pivot structure, just bringing that over here. So I have it's just a candidate's potential for prior resistance to be that support. If we push a little bit lower, I'm kind of getting the same thing down here. This is the golden zone. So you're now hovering at the 50. We've got this rejection wick. So if that's the B, it looks like you'd be into the 1, 2, and you're working on the 3, 4, 5 to get that done down here at the golden zone. Seems like a reasonable target because the correction doesn't look like it's got enough time to really balance it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Now it looks like 1, 2 is in. You're working on 3, 4. If you get all the way down here to the golden zone, look at that risk reward, right? What is that? 20 to 1. Tight, right? You don't need to pick the turn. It's if you get the turn, right, then the little retrace might be where you can add to it. Right now I'm adding with a little house money, and now you're right back to that commitment. I'm making the assumption that the low is in, right? So I don't want to talk myself out of that. I'm committed to that. That's the way to approach that, I think. Okay. Here we got some new people posting. Let's see.
All right, so Aristotle's there. Click the one.
Okay, got it.
At 10:55, and it's going to be bottom middle.
Okay. Okay. But D-Len, thanks for the post. Work looks good. Maybe check the, I think there's a pinned tweet in this channel that should walk you through how to post. Okay. So that is Aristotle sharing ADA. So something went askew there.
Click the newest one he did to the scroll down.
Okay, sharing on ADA. Let me try that. There we go.
There you go. Bottom middle.
Bottom middle. Okay.
I'm going to buy the fuck
Make
out
a
of
copy of it. Okay. Let me do that.
Justin tipped $15. Hey,
Cardano. Well, just looking at it. Well, this will be interesting. All right. So let's go back out to a daily. See where we are here. Okay. Well, we all saw this nice 1, 2, 3 pop, right? This made a lot of our members a lot of money. So 1, 2, 3 up for the big 3. Now, is that this very much like Bitcoin, although we got a new high here, but this is similar. This area here, all very similar to what Bitcoin did when it bottomed. Now we've got a big kick coming out of that. Let's take a look here. So we've got a set of median lines inside a set of median lines. So on the larger one, well, it's a couple thoughts here. One, I'd probably move this over here. Well, I see what you're doing because the assumption is we're going to truncate here and the 4 is in. That's mighty deep for the 2. Let's just take a look there. It works. It holds it. Oh, you don't get a great start there. Okay, so I think this is a question mark here. 1, 2. God, that is really. Let's just see that. That is really tight, but it works. So is that good enough for a 1? Are you just? It's kind of as I've been suggesting here. These wicks are sure rejection wicks, right? Rejection. Even though we broke into it, now we just keep getting tested. So this is what they're doing, right? Is it safe? Or is a bunch of supply going to drop into the market here like it did here, right? Or is it safe to be a buyer down here? Well, I think this will be confirmed only if this holds as our low here, because we could put the 4 over here and then start the whole thing. So the question mark will be, all right, God damn it, hang on. The depth of retracement. So we've got a clear 5 here, if we come down, we do a 50 and we bump into all this structure, or that could be golden zone here. Oh, it looks like it is, right? So if we come into this, well, now you're thinking, oh, okay, well, so this is the pivot low of this correction, and I got a deeper retracement. I got a 2 here, so I'm thinking 1, 2, and then I might rethink how this is labeled. I might do it this way, right, and put the 2 here, depending on how deep this goes. Now, if we hold here, well, this is right. There's no easy solution here because of that. Now, because this is a valid 2, because of the one that could be it. That's not a great looking start to it, but there's probably a diagonal in there. Let's take a quick look since we're not in a huge hurry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can make that work. It's not a great looking start. Oof. I guess you could get it. This would have to be 1, 2. Yeah, it's long enough. Then you have to go A, B. Fuck, that's not great. Well, it's what's there. There's another, just a rejection wick, right? But this is that is a little bit inherent in crypto, where you get the wicks like that. That's a tough one, right? It's tough to call that a completed impulse. Let's just quickly check here. You'd want to put the 3 there, so that doesn't quite work. So see, because 5, so your first thought would be to think, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal, but it doesn't work because 5 is longer than 3. So if 1 is longer than 3, 5 has to be shorter. So you have kind of a, so at one level, I can see how you'd look at this and go, oh, fuck, man, what a pain in the ass, right? So I can't call that a 1, 2. Well, see, depending on how you look at it, I would tell you that's the value of Elliott Wave, is that I go, oh, sure, that's a little dicey on that 1, right? And we come down here, we're so close to that, and it's all wick, right? Is that really where I want to put money at risk? Because I can't really quite qualify that. Even here, if you were thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 5's longer than 3. So you're kind of screwed here on the start of this, which makes me think it's a contender to be more corrective. So working backwards here, I can see here's the 4, right? So it looks like that's the kind of thing you just have to, you're kind of stuck with it. I'd do it this way. All right, so we finished something here. This could be, oh, fuck. This is a cluster. I don't know that it really matters here. So I guess my larger point here is, based on the fact that this is a rough start to a 1, dicey, right? So I'd be putting a big bold arrow on this, as in that may be our problem spot, and thus the 4 is over here and the 2 is coming, and the 1 just completed because you don't have a good enough start there. I don't think you can get a 5 into that's clean without guidelines or rule breaks, although I'm not really digging in there. So, but I don't know that it matters here, but just, it's kind of dwelling on, okay, if this is the 1, 2, we're anticipating that this doesn't break beyond this, right? You can see the obvious spot here. So as he's noted, so if you get a new high here, you're like, oh shit, I guess we got something. We'll have to go down to the much lower time frame to see if you can work out that puzzle. I'd be suspect of that. So it doesn't matter, because what comes off of this pivot is a 5. So I know I've started something here, most likely, or maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Or I have a strong opinion that I've started something here. So pinging the 50 here would say, all right, well, now you'd be unsure, what is it, one or the other? But what you'd be looking for is that geometry to hold, right? So you get this down for the, it looks like you got kind of a similar problem here. Which one of these you're going to use? That's the higher one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right off the bat, you're thinking, oh God, do I have to truncate the 5? Right? So already I don't love that. Looks better than it looks more like an ABC. If that's the B, so WX. Well, so maybe you get it that way. So you get a WXY. Okay, that's a contender. Yeah, anything below? No. I don't see enough here yet, right? So I just see we're kind of stuck here. I'd want to see something a little bit more dramatic here because I can see the possibility that this has more to go. And maybe we're going to get that in since this is my problem spot here. So this is what I do. I just do this and go, okay, that's an area I don't want to forget about that. And just look at my labeling here. That's a problem spot. So if this is going to go 1, 2, well, that's not necessarily bad news, right? Because if you're looking for on the long side here, you're about to get the money wave here. But are we done enough here? Well, I sure do like it if we can come down into this range here. Now I've got a break here, so already the B going to the 786. You're already or W, or pardon me. This would be ABC. This would be WX ABC. Right? It looks like you might have to do it that way. It looks like you might have to do that as a WXY. So, okay, maybe. What are we on? 4? Let's go to a 1. 1, 2. Looks like you have to go. Let's just do a little measuring here, right? So this is if I'm working out the puzzle, I just start looking for, okay, where's my high probability location for a 3, right? So that shit that doesn't happen randomly. Okay, right? So I got a 1, I got a candidate here, I got a candidate here, I got a candidate here, I got a candidate here. Now let's get that to something reasonable. Here we'll go white so you can see it. Okay, so I got a good candidate here for my 3. Well, as I always do, I'm going to wick off my 1 just so I don't lose track of it here. I know I've got, I can just kind of, again, wicks are the market talking to you. I got a lot of wick rejection here. I tested, rejected. Now I got through. Now, if this is going to hold as a 4, I don't want to see it come this high. I want it to hold right here. And remember, hovering around the median line is always a magnet to the market, right? So if it's going to hover around it, here's a little decision making. Are we going up to the upper parallel where you'd be back here going, well, shit, okay, I guess it's a ABC that finishes here. Or is there one more rollover here to bring it down here where I like it all the more? Well, how do you know? Well, you don't know. Right? You're not going to know until it resolves, right? So that's why I would say, because this could be kind of a little bit too many possible paths here. This would be one I'd watch. Or Cardano, where most of you guys are going to be watching this. Let's tighten this up a little bit here. I sure do like it down here because then I can look at this and go, okay, I know right where we are. Right, I've completed the impulse. I've got a correction here. I'm at the 50. I don't have this algo target is really not valid because you've already broken up here. So anything that you like this looks like it could be a 50. So this is the one I'd be watching, right? So already got it. Second, maybe we get third down here, right? So but then that starts to look more like a 1, 2, 3. So you can see the alternate. God, can you get a 5 in that? That's ugly, but it looks like you can get, oh shit. Yeah, you can get that. All right. So let's just pause for a second. Yeah. So you can get 5 in there. So you can, coming from this, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5 here. So question mark, right? So the alternate would be, and then coming off of that, right? Looks like I can go A, B, C. So one alternate is that we've gone 1, 2, 3. So 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I guess you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a tricky one. You might be back here, right? If this is A, B, C, so you might be W, you might be right back to this, but this is the value of kind of working through it. Okay, well, so if that's W via the ABC and that's X via the ABC, it's far enough for me for the X. So if that's going to complete that way and you're going to get the Y, you're looking for an ABC. All right, so kind of skinny on the B. Still, you end up looking for more to have it play just right. So maybe a little tap dance here at the median line, one more down. Now you finish the whole thing, which could well be what he sent to me. I've kind of lost track of his count. It's a tricky one, right? So that's the puzzle solving, right? That's the, you either love it or you hate it. we come down into the, well, you'd have some confluence points here. Right? So you'd have the upper parallel here coming down into the 50. You're not going to know until you see what comes off of that, whether it's the 2 or the 4, because you could still hit a 50 and a 4, certainly. I like it right down here. And even that, I'd still take a small piece right off the bat. Right? You just look, always look left. All right. What am I going to run into right off the bat? Right out of the chute, if I get the turn here, I'm going to run into some of that structure, likely, right? Of course, it could get through, but this is the trade I like right there. Right now, can I get through the median line, get back inside those? You see his sliding parallel down here. Can I get back into the median line, right? Something like this, right? Where I know I'm likely to run into, that's going to be too far. If I get down here, I'm going to run into some resistance when I wish it. Let's just put it in context. Right? If I get this, I'm going to run into something here. I can just kind of look at all that structure. The market hung here, right? Right. There'll be defense here. If I get through, well, now you're kind of testing from above right now. Get a 3 coming down here. Now it's already broken. So once it breaks, it's no longer in play. So now I don't have to worry about this. Now I'm looking to pick up the buy side algo on the retrace. So this could come out, right? Once you break it, you take it off because it's not in play anymore. Now up, down, right back into prior structure. You kind of just, the story kind of, you read it as it's playing, right? Oh, wow, back into the prior 3-4, right? Where that's right down a degree, the 3-4, where that's a common location for a retracement. Because we paused here. This is the last time we had a retracement. If this comes down one more time, I like that a lot. But you're going to have to manage it along the way. It's not, here's what it's not going to do. A straight line, right? They just never do. They don't. Even a big rip like this is not, I mean, you can look at that and say, well, shit, it goes in a straight line. No, it doesn't. Rarely do they, right? It has to be some big news driving it, right? Where just greed takes over here. It's a little tricky, actually. Oh, I guess you can get it. So you can see here the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can make that work. 3, 4. You got to pull the 1, 2 out of it there. 3, big 4 relative to the 2. So right off the bat, I just looked at that and said, well, that, kind of the struggle we had with Bitcoin could be the expanded B wave here, because this finishes pretty nicely right here. Tricky one. I know everybody watches this one. Right? There's some people are not fans of Cardano long term, but it certainly, I think it has proven itself as a asset that's certainly warrants trading. As to whether or not it is its long-term viability and success, right? That'll be revealed over time. But do we really care, right? I got 5, I'm working on a 3, right? That's what you're looking for, right? If I can simplify it, I always want to. Right, it's complicating. Oh shit! It's a WXY into a triangle B into an X, and then that's where Elliott gets tricky, right? And you have to put the time in to learn those, right? And if you don't have them memorized, that's why we have those Elliott Wave cheat sheets. So you can look at it and go, wait a minute, okay, so I could have a triangle in the X. That could be it. I got this. I got to finish with an ABC. It's likely to take this shape. And those are the kind of little reminders while you're internalizing this to where you go, oh, okay, I can see what it is. I still check them after 30 years. I'm like, what the? I got to double check that. It could be a triple zigzag, and you're not sure if the height of the X relative to the first X is far enough. But there's no shame in saying, well, shit, I got to double check that rule. I still do it. But if I can simplify, I got 5. I'm working on 3. Even though there's a lot of complexity in here, I can simplify it. Structure, price action, geometry, retracement. There's an algo going to be there. There's their target. Oh shit! Here we come down here. Now you go back to original recipe. Okay, it's not that hard. Oh, let's go to a 2. Well, you can kind of look over here and say that's likely something that needs to get tested. So if we roll first, right? So look where that is, right in the geometry. So first you're gonna have to break that. But what you really, what you're hoping to see here is this, right? Let's test all of that structure. Is it safe? Is it safe? So I mean, shit, it could go deeper here, but that's the ideal. So what you'd be looking for, that would be an ideal 3-4. So you'd say, oh, I got the 1 right into the median line. Oh, that causes the reaction. Now I got my 3. Now I'm going to get my little 4. Boom, right. Instruct that. Those are the ones you wait for, right? When you get that, then you got to take it. Why would you not take that trade? Oh, it's going down, man. I can't buy it when it's going down. I only buy when it's going up. Well, it was going up here. It was going up here. Look at, it's why you don't. I mean, have it if that's working for you. I don't want to talk you out of that. But my guess is, if you're here watching, it's probably not working for you. Right? It's just think about it. Why would it pivot there? Right? Why would it hold there? Right? Because people that catch that are going to defend that. And if it's in this context, right? If I can go, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, then I'd be pulling from the 2 to the 4. Again, I've kind of lost my place there. But if I got that, okay, well, let's go back to this one. Okay. Oh, here. All right. Got that. I can pick up an algo here, right? Can I tuck in behind one? Doesn't mean it can't go deeper. Just that's a trade you want to look at. The breakout, retest. All right. We got any requests?
We did. Yeah, we did actually. We got Justin did 15 for Tezos XTZ. So probably Coinbase is going to be the best. USD
crypto.
XTZ.
Oh, pardon me, XTZ. I was wondering why I wasn't getting XTZ. Tezos. I just had this chart up. I don't know what. I literally just had it up and just closed it before we started. Okay, what's our range here? Well, certainly the range to want to look in log. All right, let's go. Oh shit, I can see what I wanted to ask. Okay, so this has to be. Okay, so this looks like, let's just work through it. Looks to me like that's your 1. Well, let's see. That's a bit of a fucker. So we right off the bat, we can get a pretty good start to it. You got multiple pivots in here. Well, you could expand the B there, but that could work. Let's see. Well, so to help qualify, start measuring. So how far did we go there? Shit, we went past the 2618. All right, that's a pretty good candidate here. So either I've got to work the 3 in here and go, oh, I could looks like that could be the 3-4 of the finish. Well, there's a little advantage here, because if you're right here, you're thinking, oh, I'm off to the moon to complete the 5. Right? That's what you'd be thinking there. So a little bit of an advantage here. Now, it's the depth of this that makes me think, okay, maybe that we did complete the 5 here. So you're in the pocket here. Oh, that's a bit ugly. So let's just think for a second. Okay, so if this is the 2, you need an impulse, but you get an impulse, but that's too far. So it looks like it's technical all the way. All these pivots look, it's a little too far, but you'd go back 1. Well, that's a 3, but that's mighty thin on time. That's a good pick here. So you're coming back to structure. I can get 5 into that. I can't seem to get out of the diags. So if I'm labeling that, I'd start 1, 2, because right now that's what I see here. Let's go up, but because you can just look at this and say, well, this is going to need a lot of qualifying. Let's go here so you can spot it. All right. Could that be my 2? All right. Well, I can get 5. I can get 5 out of that. Okay. 1, 2, looks like you have to work that sideways. Okay. So sideways, sharp, right? So nice impulse right out of the chute off of that. Okay. So nice impulse here. Thin on the retracement. Obviously you can't get an impulse to work here because you've already got such deep overlap. And you're already a little far here, but Okay, so what is the market saying to me, right? So this has been a lot of rejection, got through. Now we're back to test again. So you'd have to go another 1-2, right? That's your kind of process of elimination. That's all you get here. Let's just put these up here for a minute. Let's go. Let's go to a different color. We'll go to white. Okay, so if that's, I gotta go up a degree. 1-2, 1-2. Jesus. I think we might be stuck with yet another 1-2. So can we do this differently?
I do think it's bullish as hell, though. So
yeah, it is. But I'm just looking for where's the because I can't get an impulse to shape. I'm thinking maybe there's a bigger diagonal in here. That's not the play because this could be it. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Well, it could be we're doing it this way. A, B, C. This could be doing this in a series of ABCs. A, B, C. Right. So this you got to work an ABC in that. So there's a clear 5, 3, 5. So that looks like you have a contender here. A, B, C. Sometimes the Elliott is going to be tricky right out of the gate. But it's pseudo technical. It's not quite. Let's see that they're there. There's a good one. Okay. Okay, so I know something important's happening here. So I've got an algo with me here, but I can't go one. I don't want to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's too many. So it makes me think there's something else happening here. That's a 5. So you can't go A, B, C into that. So I think you're looking at another diagonal. That's an impulse. So I don't want to turn that into a 3. That works as a completed impulse here. That's a completed 3. So that 2, I think, is solid. So, that's bullish as hell, actually, if it's a 1, 2, 1. Well, good pick, right? Oh, shit. I'm in. Yeah, that's enough. Let's see. A little throw over here.
So, member CZ8 just posted a chart on chat. If you want to click on that, I guess he's got a.
He's got a count on it. Oh, good. Let's take a look. Where did he post it? Oh, in the chat.
On the YouTube chat.
Okay, let me try it over here, and then I'll bring it over. It's a tough one. Okay, what do you got? Okay. Oh shit, man, I can't see it. I don't know where you are here on what your time frame is. So that is I can't see so where is he relative to what we were just looking at? So that's got to be his.
So he's not in log, I don't think, on that. Unless he is, he's on a much tighter time frame.
Well, if I take it out of log, let's see.
Oh no, he is in log then.
Yeah, he's got to be in log here. I think that's the only way you can work this. And the range is so big. It looks like a giant diagonal. It's just trying to find where it is. I kind of want to go. You're stuck. Right? So that you can't not call it an impulse, right? We've got an impulse here, right? So we got to account for it. Oh, the light. Oh man, I keep seeing these new handles I don't recognize. Okay, what do you got? The light.
He says 1 hour is what he was on.
Oh, the 1 hour. Okay. Well, I got the light. John Ray, that must be a new member. The light. So I can't eliminate this. I got to live with that impulse. I gotta live with that. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're stuck with. This looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you'd have to truncate here to. 1, 2. That's a 5. I could probably force a 3 there, but I'd prefer not to, since I get a 3 here. Oh, it looks like I get a WXY because I got to finish it with a 3. So it looks like you'd have to go WXY since that's a 3. Golden zone here. I'd be thinking that's just another 1. So 1. Looks more like a 5, doesn't it? But that was our golden zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open that up. That's daily. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's completed. It's a tricky one. This is a new low. All right, so that complicates it. Get a new low. All right, so which is our pivot? Yeah, it is a new low. Okay, so that makes it even harder. Boy, this is a bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you've got a diag that takes it up. Well, but with that low, oh shit, this is a bitch. All right, let's give it a minute. Sometimes it's just not going to be right in your face. Can I get any more? I can't. I got to go to a 10. Let's try the 12 here. Well, I'd be wicking off all of these for potential structure. I think you're kind of stuck with that as an ABC, considering that this is my low, and that's a golden zone. So I think you're stuck with the corrective wave here. That looks like a 4-5, so you could work your way back into that. That structure is holding here. Can we get away with that? Did it do it? Can we call it an impulse? I don't think we can. Oh, boy, what a bear of a count this is, right? You can't allow for that. So it can't be an impulse there. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We got to do it as an ABC. So we have to do this. We have to go A, B, C. A, B, C. Oh, fuck. I don't want D, E. I want A, B, C there. So let's try that again. A, B, C. Oh, Jesus, I did it again. Let's try it again. 2. Oh, that doesn't work. So you got to do it as A, B, C. A, B, C. 1, 2. Let's see how that's technical. Okay, so this is a golden zone. All right, so the algos are in here. So you can trade it, but the Elliott is a bit elusive here because it just looks like it's all just a series of big diagonals. The price action is not bad. Playing off of all of that. Tell you what, I don't think there's enough clarity here. The Elliott is just too elusive here as to what we've got that I'd keep a kind of penciled in count here. This looks like you're stuck with these relentless ABCs. ABC, ABC, A, B. So let's put it up a degree. So we'd be looking for A, B, and this is in the process of seeking that C. So let's go up to micro in blue here. Okay, so if that's in, looks like that's A, B, and we're looking for, let's finish it up, A, right, maybe. Put that down, put it back in yellow. I'd be looking for that next. Really tough one because you can't get an impulse anywhere other than as part of these A waves. Very tough. I can see why you wanted that. Boy, that's a bitch, right? Because you could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get the impulse here, but you can't get it. So even if you thought 1, 2, so you got to stay with the ABC. So it's just relentless ABCs here. So you're at this point looking for that C to complete to be 1, 2, maybe 3. So right off the bat, you'd have to do this. Oh, no, that's not what I want. No, come here. Okay, so let's measure these. All right, so here's the next one. If it's 1, 2, 1, 2. So I want to know the length of this one, proposed one. All right, so now I get some targets up here that would potentially make sense. All right, does that look like that could play? Well, we'd need a big rip here. This is the low. Okay, that could play. Right, now you got to clear this, right? So you want, if it's going to be a giant diagonal that comes out of here. See, I want to go 1, 2, but you can't do it. You got to account for that. So you're stuck with this. This is the one. So this is the only real impulse you get. This is the impulse. But to follow the impulse with a diag is what's making it tricky. So you would have thought you might get an impulse here, but you don't. So the possibility here, this is so freaking bullish that it's a little scary. If that's 1, 2, and we're just working through the 1, and we don't even know if we got the 2 done yet here. If that's a leading diag in the 3rd, wow, that's implying massive upside potential here. If right, if that's how this is going to play, I don't see another way to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the one impulse that we have. Now I get another impulse here, but it doesn't. I don't get it with the overlap here. You're stuck with the ABC. You know, it's trying so hard to be technical here. Look at this, right? But look, they're both the same thing as here, right? You're getting this slight overlap here, slight overlap. It's a bitch, right? It's just the reality of it. You can't allow that, right? It's too far. Same thing. You can't allow it. So it's forcing you into, love it or hate it, right? See, a price action guy's going to look at that and go, "Oh, fuck that," right? So it retraced here, so it overlapped by 3 ticks. When I will tell you, based on my experience, if you pull that, well, it's close enough, right? That will almost always come back to bite you in the ass, almost always. So you're being forced, if you're going to maintain the discipline here, which is the only way you get the benefit, if you maintain the discipline, is I can't use that as a 4-5. So it has to be A, B, C, right? Because of the overlap. I can't do it. But it's trying. So 1, because you gotta live with that, right? Even here, Jesus. I mean, you're just stuck with it. It's just your hand is being forced there. Hang on. Your hand is being forced into that 1 wave here, which is why that's getting so bullish. So A, B, C into the 1 corrective, and unless there's a deeper retracement here. Let's finish this right here. If that's the 1, right, we've already tested the golden zone. Unless there's something deeper coming here, which would surprise me, right? So this is the test, right? We're testing all that structure, testing all of this, right? Can we hold? Do we hold? Is it safe? Is it safe? We get the reaction. At this point, you're kind of looking for the 2 or the B to get that 3, but it needs to go this far, right? So that would be your mile marker. Oh, you got a golden corner here, although it's kind of skinny. I would do it this way. Right, already got your 80%. So you're now looking for the next one. You see this, right? That's why you want them to take a little bit longer. So this one's already burned its 80. So now you're waiting for this one. Kind of always a good idea to wick off these obvious areas of support. So that's got to come down. All right, if I can get the ABC, well, we'll see, right? Is that the C? Looks like there needs to be another push up here. So actually this would need to go up a little higher. So if that's going to go ABC, you need that to finish right here. Okay, now you're in line with the geometry. You'd have a decent retracement here. Then, so I would be waiting here until I see this confirm. Oh, I got more than 100. Okay, well, now I'm good. And then I draw up another one here, right here with that. So you're kind of stuck. What a challenging count, right? Good choice. Good pick. Very, very, very tough one. When it's that elusive and you're just not getting what you're anticipating and you're being forced into overlap after overlap after overlap, eventually this will clear. But right now I would just stick with, okay, where are the retracements? Where's the geometry? Right now it looks like you're being forced into a diagonal, and I would just continue to work off of these pivots in the context of these ongoing ABCs. You gonna say something, Monty?
I was just going to say, take a look at the against Bitcoin as well. But I was going to pull it up real quick.
XTC to Bitcoin?
XTC to Bitcoin, yeah.
Let me see if I can find it in here.
Probably won't. They won't have it, but I was just going to say, look on the weekly time frame. You can pull up any chart. Yeah.
XTZ BTC.
And do Coinbase, yeah. And then zoom way out. It just looks
You
like
want to
a
go to
big
the weekly?
Yeah, so it just looks like a big accumulation that's now breaking out and retesting.
Well, actually, out here, you can see this a little bit better. Right, so my guess is that's going to be spot on. So 3 is longer than 1. Let's just check it. Right, don't assume. It's easy to measure. So out here, that looks like just a textbook leading diag. Right, 5 longer than 3, 3 longer than 1. That is actually good thought, Monty. This is actually easier to analyze here. Now that's deep for the 4 to go 7, 8, 6, but because I get the structure here, I mean, it would appear they stayed with it. Now, is that done? It could be the ABC is there. Let's think about what's coming from the other side. All right, so that makes sense. So you're kind of, it's not perfect. There could be a deeper, it's a tricky one. I'm going to watch this one because this is kind of really, really good challenge. You could look at it this way and say, okay, here's the accumulation zone. If we come back down into this, I'm interested. I'd be pulling this. All right, and then I could tee this up. To the golden zone. I think that's a good thought to look at it that way to Bitcoin. So you get a cleaner look at it here. Actually, I think this is cleaner than to the dollar. So leading diag, looking for 3 down into the golden zone. You get your target here at the next algo resistance point, right? We can look here and say we don't have to wonder what happened there. Remember, a wick is the market talking to you. So we had 2 wicks go up here and try it and get rejected at a 50. Now, I know some people are going to think, well, that's just random, just a coincidence. I can't help you if that's still what you're thinking. Okay, that looks pretty solid. I think that's a better that's a cleaner count because now I can lean into the diag. So I'm now just waiting for 3. Bring in a 3. Right back to the 50. Often that's where you get the A. You can just see how that could play. Right. Bounce to the 50, up to the golden zone, down to the other golden zone. Now you got an algo box. Right? What's happening in the broader space, right? Do we still want to be bullish down here? Well, you sure got all the ingredients, right? Knowing that you got to break that first on the way. You got to break that on the way to get there. That's a cleaner looking chart, much cleaner. I much prefer to that than what we were just struggling with over here. Oh shit, no, I think I lost it. All right. Well, that's a tough one. When in doubt, right? If you can't see it, you can't spot it, you can't count it, why trade it? So unless you're in and you're worried about something that you're in, I don't see any reason to enter the market there with that much uncertainty about what it's doing. But this, I think, plays much better. And if you want to look at that, just out of curiosity, we'll finish up here since I don't think we have anything else. Let's just look at that on the weekly here. if it gets any cleaner. I guess it's not, right? Because it's not, those overlaps are going to be just as relevant here. But see, this is the, you can't ignore this, right? This is just a freaking impulse, right? You're stuck with it. Even if you went here, right? It's an impulse. No, I don't get an impulse coming out. So we end up with the same count. It looks like 1, 2, even if you truncated, right? Even if you thought, okay, I got a big A, I'm going to expand the B, and I'm going to go here. I mean, that's abnormal. But maybe, I mean, that's the only way you can make that play with the running flat here. Do you really have a good 5 here? 3, 3. Okay, you can probably make that work. This is the 4, this is the 5. It's not much of a finish. 1. So now you'd be thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got to go up there. You got to put them somewhere. 4, 5. So with that, let's go up. Of the two, I like this less. Although I've seen it, right? We do see that in crypto, the impatience of the market. But then this is a very deep retracement. And this is the one that goes from here. It's still, well, there it is. So that's why you want to put the 2 here, and you can't. So that's why I come back to this and I go, that's a 3. So A, B, C down, looking for more reveal here as to what the hell is going on there. That looks like A, B, C, which makes you think, okay, if that's the 2, well, here we do it this way. So I come back to, you're kind of stuck with this. Right. So what if we're going to stay with the trend? Well, you can note here, we got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right now, I don't get a higher high here. So likely that's incomplete. So either it's got that's what you need to have happen there. So then you get another 3. So now I can go, oh, okay, well, now I see where I am. I mean, maybe you're back here. It depends. You need an impulse somewhere. All right, we got this one. But do you notice the shortness of time? That's the only reason you might think, oh God, could I have a WXY where we're that far off the pivot? Well, yeah, you could. Okay. So then can I get 5 here? Well, it's a little bit of a squish, but I guess you could do it. Either way, it still plays as an ABC. Just look at it, right? What does your eye see? What do we see there? More likely, that's a 3 than trying to squeeze a 5, right? So we want to squeeze it in because we're bullish. And my guess is the person asking, right, is probably in it and looking for, God, what the hell's going on here? Very hard to know with that. So if the Elliott is elusive, then you start going to your other tools. Okay, well, what else do I have to work with? How's the geometry? Are the algos in here? Can I see the reactions at the technical levels? Well, yeah, clearly, right? Obviously they're in here. Of course they're in here. They're in everywhere. Okay, so I got 3 into a golden zone. Do I have a golden corner? Well, that's already burned, right? We already ate that one. Looks like you got it twice. Right, so it's technical, it's tradable. The Elliott is elusive here. It's just not helping you. So your best case here is that this is one. God, I hate to do that too, but if this is going to be it, then this would be 1, 2. But even that doesn't work. Right? So you're stuck with it, right? You're stuck with that 3 because it's technical off the low. So this has to be the 2 unless this is going to come down further. So the Elliott is just way too iffy. So can you trade it? Well, yeah, you can trade it. So where's the next trade? Well, if this is going to keep going, so first thing to be mindful of is we did not get a higher high here, right? So that's just a cautionary flag, right? I didn't make the golden corner. Now, if I start to roll over again, what is that trading principle number 4? If I'm not going to go up and get it, right, equal to or greater than, right, the swing that failed to get there. So I'd be kind of careful here, even if you take it over here. These are all, well, that's too, can't do that one. Okay, reaction there. Okay, I got a channel. I got median lines. That's already been pinged. So that 80% is eaten, as we just talked about, right? So if I can get this to come down here a little bit more, well then, okay, maybe I can get that. Maybe I get it up here. So then it starts to take a little more shape. So then if it's the twos here and you're thinking 1, 2, 1, 2, now I came out of here. I got an impulse. That's what you're going to need. Although that would be relative to this 1, 2, which already looks like it could be a 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a bitch, right? What a challenging count, right? Is that going to come down? Going to need to go deeper? All right, then if you broke that, you could eliminate that as the 2. So that sure looks like the ABC. Tough one. Oh, I'd be mindful of all of this as well. Okay, here's all the structure where we struggled with. Now here's a little test. Is that enough to scoot it up? Well, I'd be watching, right, for all of this up here. So you're kind of this there. I would just be not trading this until that clarifies. All right, I'm sorry I couldn't give you more insight into that. That's a really difficult count. The Elliott is way too elusive to benefit, but hopefully what you see there is how the algos are still in play, how the geometry is there. The Elliott it doesn't have enough reveal yet as to what the hell it's going to be. Jesus, it's just, you can see all the reactions here at all these technical levels. That's a stop run. Likely as well. You see it again over here, right? All these wicks are just rejection wicks everywhere. This is really struggling to get rolling here, but that's a shame you didn't get a full impulse there, because then you could lean into where it is. Right now, I think you just on hold there, and I'd set an alert on this to know. Oh, fuck me, God damn it. That gets annoying. I want to know if I get a higher high there. So if this is going to do this, right, you're going to come here, right, where so you can see how it could, and I get the higher high there. Okay, now I'm starting to lean into it a little bit more. Oh, A, B, C, right? You're still in this series of diagonals. Very tricky one, but a good one to pick and request. There is no answer here. There is no. There's the count. It's not there. It's just you got ABC. So until you get the next 2 pivots, you're kind of, I would be on hold. If I'm in, well, I don't know where you're in from.
He just said he's in from 2 to 3, and he's long-term staking it basically in Coinbase.
Oh, okay. So. From 2 to 3? Oh, well, he's all right here.
Yeah.
I'd anticipate there's probably one more little swing down. This would be what I'd be looking for. Now, if it starts to get, if you're staking it, you're in. I don't know how long your stake is, but
no, I don't think it's required. I think just if you put it in Coinbase and hold it, it stakes it for you automatically.
Oh, it does. Oh, good. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know. I thought you had to define it.
Mm-mm. You can lock up some, but I don't think Tezos requires you. But no, that's the same view I've got. Once it comes back a little bit and goes, it's gonna be a monster.
Yeah,
you just have to have patience.
Yeah,
kind of like EOS and all those old dinosaurs. You just they're going to come. It's just, are you going to wait?
Yeah. Well, so because of that, I think that the staking is a good play here because it's technical. It's technical, but you're not getting any sense of a really powerful trend yet. So thus all the chop. It can't quite get its legs yet. So I think that's probably a good position. Hold it, stake it, let it play out, and just be mindful of any sort of big dump here, which if I mean, you can watch across the space, right? If everything else is dumping, it's likely to go with it. If Bitcoin is dumping, which doesn't look like it's going to do today, it looks like, well, that structure is holding. I'm going to keep this on my radar. This is a good one to circle back to. One, because it's such a challenging count. So thanks for that. No, I mean that sincerely, as in thanks for the challenge here. This is a good example of where you don't get an answer. You don't get an answer. So one to be watching. I think that's the right play. And I'm going to put this on my watch list to see how that plays out, because that's really an interesting one. Okay, guys, I think that's all we got here, right? We made it past 11:30. All right, so there's exactly 2 hours. I know we started a little bit late. Unless there's another one, I guess we'll wrap it there. Right, Monty?
Yep. Nope. That's all we got right now.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you get some benefit. And just a reminder, always join us for free. If you want to get a taste of the Discord, just, a lot of it is just coming in and then participating. Or get some feedback from if nothing else, come in and ask the other members what it's like in here. Is it worth it? How's the belt system? Don't take my word for it. Right. I'm going to tell you that I think it's worth it. I wouldn't have created it if I didn't, but ask the other members, get a direct testimonial from someone who's in there. You
Yeah,
ask away.
since you're up and we got 60 people watching, go ahead and go to TradeDevils.com in your bar there. So
Yeah. Just bring it up on the other one. Oh, come on.
but yeah, basically just go to TradeDevils.com. At the top, you can click on plans and prices.
Yeah, I think this just confuses people a little bit because it looks like you're adding to cart here. But this is how you pick free, right? That takes you to here. Now you got to create your account and log in. But that's how you get access, right? So the belt system is on the website, not on the Discord. The Discord is where you'll land through that process. But then the process of just engaging with us on the free membership, that'll put you into that should get you access. Well, actually, you'll land in the Discord and you'll find instructions on how to get access to the white belt. It's simple. It's 3 clicks. That is just creating an account on the website with your email. That'll do it. Then you've got access to those 4 hours of content, and then buzz through the channels that are available to you. And there's a few of them. And then ask other members. Right? That's the best way. I mean, if it was me, that's what I would do. How is it in here, right? Is this worth it? I think you'll like the answers you get. All right, let's wrap it up there.
All right, guys. Tomorrow we're back at it with Traditional Tuesday.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, and we'll even talk a little bit, I guess, about what's going on in China and all that, and how we feel it could affect the market. Because I know a lot of people are looking at that Evergrande or Evergrande, all that BS. So
yeah,
check back in tomorrow and we'll chat then. So thanks for hanging out.
Thanks, guys.